Hello everybody, I hope you are all doing well. Welcome aboard this Pilatus PC-12 November 586 Alpha Tango. It'll be a new addition to our little charter fleet here. We are on the ground in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and we're going to be flying over to Quonset State, Rhode Island. Originally, I wanted to go via Pocono Mountain, which is about 20 miles east of here. Flew in this morning, shot the RNAV, the lowest RNAV, down to minimums for runway 13. Got about 386 feet above the ground, which is minimums at this for this approach. Couldn't see jack shit, so we had to go around and divert over to Scranton. So we're here now. It's not quite as interesting, but we're taking this to Quonset State, Rhode Island. Very stereotypical New England weather today, even though we're in Pennsylvania right now, but still typical northeast weather. A few showers along the way, I'll show you guys in a second. Otherwise, should be a very semi-relaxing flight. Nothing too crazy, just some nice, interesting airports. We've got Scranton here in the valley and Quonset State right on the Rhode Island coastline. So let's go ahead and review some things and get this flight in the air. Nothing too crazy for the route briefing here. I've already gone through this. Will be about a 53-minute flight today. 7 passengers on board. I'll go ahead and load that all up in a second here. I'll show you the route once we get the airplane turned on. We're looking at, the only big note here is this convective segment. Right now it's over just east of Syracuse, heading eastbound. So it's going to hit me where I physically am right now, where I flew this plane from out in Schenectady. Should miss me, though, for this flight to Rhode Island, so we should be okay. Let's see, Wilkes-Barre looks fine. Quonset State doesn't have a TAF, but I looked at Providence. Few clouds at 600 feet up until 1800, but then broken 13. So the few at 600, even that is above ILS minimums for runway 16 at Quonset. Couple NOTAMs, runway 523 is closed. That's okay, it's a shorter runway anyway, so I don't want to take it. And the approach lights for runway 16 are out of service. So if there's any notes on that ILS for that, then we can't take it. Womp womp. Just to show you guys real quick, this is the TAF for Providence. You can see it's about 8 miles to the north, so not bad at all. Yeah, it looks like there is a note for the approach lights. We just have to increase minimum visibility to 2.5 miles. We should have that, no problem. And for Scranton, right now we're planning on taking runway 4. We're going to double check the ATIS and see. It does look like winds are going to trend out of the south, so I won't be surprised if we get 2-2. I actually landed 2-2. And then right on the approach, I listened to the ATIS again, and they said they updated it to runway 4, which I was like, screw it, we'll just land 2-2 at this point. Assuming we get runway 4, they're calling departure procedure of 044 up to 2800, then proceed on course up. We most likely a left-hand turn on course direct Wilkes-Barre. Alright, I just went ahead and loaded everything up. We've got 385 on the cargo, full load of passengers today, and 1175 on the, or sorry, 1150 on the fuel. So that'll give us a takeoff weight of about 9,100 pounds. Doing the pre-flight here now, this airplane, a couple things about it. Not very in-depth in terms of modeling, and you'll see a few complaints I have, but here's the thing. It's like the Citation that I used to fly last year. It's not very in-depth, but it'll get you from point A to point B. You can still use the systems on it. Some things are a little bit janky, but it'll work. And it's a fun plane to fly. I actually really enjoy flying it so far. Its hand flies great. The autopilot can be a little janky, but it's not bad. One thing you'll notice about this is how dirty the the leading edge is. Same with the windscreen as well. Turns out that's actually a feature where the more you fly it, the more bug splatters it gets. So when I first loaded this morning in Schenectady, it was perfectly clean. I flew it over here, and by the time I landed, it looks like this. The thing is, you can't remove it unless you reset the flight, which I don't feel like doing. So you guys are going to have to deal with a bit of a dirty airplane today. The door. I wanted to show you guys what will happen if I open this up. It puts me right into the airplane, and then the door automatically closes behind me. So not exactly the nicest door there, but it's okay. We'll hop back out. For the walk around, you do actually have to remove covers on this for the first time you start it up, because I already did that. You're not going to see anything but covers, chocks, verify the fuel caps are in. This door actually will stay open for you, which is kind of neat, but of course we'll close it because we have passengers just boarding up now. Everything else looks good to go around here, so we can go ahead and hop in. And of course, to hop in, all you're going to do is just press this button here when you walk up to it, and it'll automatically teleport you right inside, if it will let me. There you go. Welcome aboard. Doors automatically close behind us. Great. Alright, we'll run through this before start checklist now. Standby switch is going to be set to on. That'll be this guy up here. EPS we're going to set to armed, and you'll hear a few things go off when I do that. If I can hit the click spot, there you go. Bats 1 and 2 are coming on. And the avionics 1 and 2 are coming on as well. Gen 1 and 2 can be on as well. Fuel quantity checked, we should have 1150 total, and yep, that's 1149, which is good.
Wilkes-Barre Airport information, Foxtrot 100 Zulu. Wind 105 at 4.
105 at 4, so that's probably going to give us runway 4.
ILS runway 4 in use.
If we're taking 4, beautiful. And I'm not going to be using the in-game ATC today, I'm just going to use the ATIS, and that'll be it. Cool. Alright, we have information. Foxtrot, ATC clearance, altimeters are set, radios NA, ATC clearance NA, navs and GPS, we're going to have to set the GPS once this guy fires up. Autopilot modes, we'll be expecting that 044 on the head-in, so we can go ahead and set that up right now. So 044, and we'll be cruising flight level 270 today. I'm going to set my initial altitude up to 10,000, and then I'll clear myself higher when we get there. The reason why I like to set myself to 10,000 anyways is so that if something goes wrong, the autopilot will level itself out while I deal with things. Cool. Alright, engine start checklist. ATC clearance is obtained. Doors and windows verified are closed. The beacon is going to go ahead and come on. Inertial separator, I'm going to leave that on for now. I don't know what the exact procedures are for that, but I don't really care. Passenger lights are coming on since we've got a full load of passengers today. Condition lever is NA. This checklist is for a slightly older version of this plane. We've got the start power lever at idle, and I'll go ahead and set you to run. Let the ground crew know we're firing up the engine. Parking brake verified is set. I'm on the brakes anyways. Ignition on, starter engaged. And my biggest complaint of this model, this Coronado default model, is the sounds. So there's NG starting to rise, and they're going to start to add fuel flow right there. 240, everything looks good. Notice how you can't hear anything. That's not because I have the sim volume turned down, that's because you just can't hear anything. Yep, the prop's going, RPM's rising, ITT's rising. If I'm very, very quiet, you might be able to hear something. There it goes, now you start to hear a couple things. Everything's still rising, everything looks good. And that looks like one good engine that's just stabilizing. Just need to watch ITT, make sure it doesn't do anything too stupid. There you go, ITT stabilizing itself. We can go ahead and turn the ignition back to auto. And we'll go ahead and run through a couple checklists. Make sure, yep, the generators are on, batteries are stabilized. After start checklist, external power verified is off. Not that it ever mattered. Electrical panel verified, yep, we've got good charge there. Passenger signs verified are still on. Passenger cooling and heating, yep, that's set to 22, which we like. Anti-ice switches are going to be probes on, windshield heat to light for now, and inertial separator is still on. Windshield heating set light. Probes are on, inertial separator switch is set on. Fuel pumps we left on auto, and ignition is going to be set to auto. Fuel used is going to be reset. And the EFIS display, we're going to have to go ahead and set up now. So I need to go ahead and clear my last route if I can, and I'll be back with you guys in 1 minute once I have everything set up over here. Alright, so here is our route today. We're going to be departing runway 4, 044 on the heading up to 2800, then it'll be a left-hand turn direct to Wilkes-Barre. Actually, no, I'm sorry, departing runway 4, that'll be right turn direct Wilkes-Barre. I'm probably actually just going to intercept direct Lake if that's okay with you guys. Hopefully you don't mind. Sorry. Then it'll be the Victor 93 all the way till... Oh wait, it's Victor 93 direct to Lake, so we're not even going to take that airway. That's great. It looks like our minimum off-route altitudes are 5,000. We're going to be way above that anyways. From Lake Tango 216 to Hartford, so all the way down here. And then it'll be direct to Providence, and then direct to Quonset, and once we get to top of climb, we'll go ahead and program the arrival into Quonset. And the flaps will go ahead and be set to 15 for departure. Condition lever is not applicable. Power lever, we'll go ahead and test that in a second. In fact, actually, I can just go ahead right now and engage reverse. Yep, that worked. Beautiful. And disengage reverse. Flight controls left, right, back, forward, left rudder, right rudder, quick box. All my controls are working great. Alright, we'll go ahead and verify transponder set 1200 in ALT, flip the taxi light on, and we'll go ahead and get this guy moving. Disengage the parking brake. This thing's going to move very easily on its own. Parking brakes, or sorry, just my own toe brakes are checked. I'm actually going to primarily use the beta range in this to help slow me down. So we'll go ahead and get this taxi going, and you'll see, let's say I realize, oh shoot, I'm going way too fast. I can go ahead and just engage reverse. And that slowed me down very nicely. Okay, we're taking runway 4, which is showing just a left here on Alpha, so that, or right on Alpha, I should say. Beautiful. All right, for the departure briefing, we're going to be taking runway 4 today. That'll give us 7,500 feet. Any issues on the takeoff roll, we are going to close the throttle and apply hard braking. And after we are airborne, if we don't have runway remaining and we have an engine failure, and we are below 2,000 feet, we are going to land straight ahead. After 2,000 feet, we'll make that right-hand turn back to the airport. Otherwise, normal departure procedure will be 044 on the head-in mode until we hit 2,800, then a right-hand turn. On course, we'll plan on just proceeding direct to lake. Gear is set, flaps set 15. Trim, I know it's saying my trim is a little bit out of range. I might want to adjust that here in a second. So if I stop myself here and then go trim nose up, is that going to help things? Looks like it might. Alright, we'll keep it right there for now and see how this behaves. Alright, before takeoff checklist, anti-ice switches are all on. Temperature outside is currently 25 degrees, so if it gets colder, we'll be good to go. I'm going to turn the inertial separator off for takeoff. Window heats on, probe heats are on. Trim set for takeoff, flaps verified, set 15, condition liver NA, comms are set, takeoff clearance is obtained, lights and strobes are all coming on. And let's see, runway is clear, final is clear, we're clear for takeoff. Let's go ahead and get this show on the road, shall we?
Approaching runway 04.
Oh, we can actually do a bit of a back taxi here. I probably should have looked at that. Yeah, we'll do a back taxi. Why give ourselves less runway than we have to? Yeah, 6,300 is not a lot. So we'll just go ahead and make that right-hand turn. We'll back taxi here. I probably should have looked at that diagram before I briefed this, but that's okay. Alright, just turning around on the end of runway 4 right now. Get ourselves nice and oriented here. Runway 4 is identified on the heading indicator. Altitude looks good for field elevation of... Why did I just blank out on field elevation? 962, yep, so that's accurate. Winds are out of 100, so slightly from the right. Time is 11:18. We're going to go ahead and advance power all the way to MCP. I'm going to release those brakes now. There's MCP set. Airspeed's coming alive. Engine instruments look good. And there's rotate. Applying back pressure. Ooh, she's heavy today, that's for sure. And there's VX. Go ahead and trim this up just a little bit more. Positive rate gear. Hold that 044 on the heading. We'll go ahead and engage, let's see, set you to FMS, level change mode. Yep, that'll hold 130 for me automatically. And I can punch that autopilot on. Beautiful. 044 up to 2800. And we can work that first notch of flaps out, or the only notch of flaps we ever had, out. And still waiting for that 2800, and then we're going to go ahead and proceed direct to... Oh, it'd be nice if I actually scrolled up here before. 2800, direct to lake would be good. Direct to, nav mode on, and we should by now, if it'll let me, nav mode, heading disengage. Oh brother, FMS direct lake. Activate, that would probably help. And we can turn the auto throttle on. Oh, nope, not yet. We have to wait till we hit that 140 first. And auto throttle, nope, not yet. Okay, we'll give it some time. It doesn't matter anyways, throttle's staying the same. Alright, we're en route now. We'll run through that climb checklist. We're looking at climb checklist. Yaw damper verified is on, the autopilot is on, flaps verified are... I set flaps to 0 earlier. Okay, well either way we didn't bust the range, so that's okay. Okay, so now flaps are up, gear is verified up. Taxi light can go ahead and come off at this time. Still climbing out of here for now. Cabin pressure, yep, everything looks good. It's slowly climbing. Landing lights will be off once we pass 10,000 feet. Inertial separator verified is off. De-ice is not required. Temperature still looks good, and we're clear of clouds at this point as well. Air conditioning, check, cabin pressurization have both been checked. Everything looks beautiful there, and the altimeters will be set standard upon passing 18,000. Passing 7,000 now, I'm going to go ahead and clear myself up to flight level 250, and let's see if now the auto throttle will come on. Cool. Alright, that's your climb items there, all complete. We are on our way to Rhode Island. Okay, we have Oscar. Great. Winds are definitely preferring runway 16. If I can shut you up. Altimeter 3013. We'll go ahead and set that here in just a couple thousand feet. We've currently passed our top of descent here into Quonset. Went ahead and what I did was I replaced Providence with the initial approach fix of Fosti. Alright, 3013 is set. For the approach briefing, ILS will be on 109.5. This is the ILS runway 16 in the Quonset. Approach course will be 160, 7,100 feet of runway. Touchdown zone elevation is 18. And up approach lights, so we have to increase our minimum to 2.5 miles of visibility. They just reported visibility of 10 miles, so we are good there. ATIS we've already obtained. No altitude restrictions for Fosti, just above 2,200. Salmi at or above 2,200, then we can get down to 2,000 or above for Phalig. That'll be the final approach fix. And then from there, Bayo will be at or above 840, we can expect. And then the ILS minimums of 218. Localizer will be, minimums will be 840. And if we hold 90 on the ground speed, it'll be 4 minutes on the 4 minutes 4 seconds on the timer there. Missed approach will be up to 500 feet, then a left-hand turn to 3,000, heading 145 to Providence and hold. Do you guys have any questions? If not, then that is great. Just double check the NOTAMs here. Hold on a second. Older NOTAMs. Amendment 11 NA. Wait a second. The ILS is out of service. Okay, so in real life we couldn't take the ILS. We might be able to take the localizer, though. I have a feeling what's going to happen is we're going to say, okay, we'll just plan on taking the localizer, 2,000 for Phalig, then we'll get down to 840 for the minimums. I think what's going to happen is we're going to pick up the... Actually, you know what? Let's make it a challenge. Let's just fly the localizer. Why not? Probably should have reviewed that a little bit earlier, but alright, that's fine. We'll take the localizer if it will let us. So 840 will be our minimums, and we have a timer of 4 minutes 4 seconds from the final approach fix at 90 on the ground speed. Passing 8,000 feet now. Approach briefing is already complete. Missed approach will be 500, then turn to 3,000, if I recall correctly. Ooh, getting a little bit tossed around. I did see this cloud forming right in front of us. I turned on our radar and I see no weather up here. I'll prove it. Yep, we're on NextRad right now, so we're totally good there. And minimums will be 840 for the localizer NDA. 4 minutes 4 seconds after passing the final approach fix of Phalig at 90 knots. Getting ready to slow ourselves down a little bit more here, so I'll go ahead and bring you down to like a 150, so we can bring gear down in flaps 15 when we intercept. And I think the localizer is about in place there. If I hit nav select loc 1, Is this going to work? I think it should. Yep, localizer's alive. Beautiful. We'll keep going now down to 22 for Salmi. And we can work that first notch of flaps in. And gear is going to come down.
Class Charlie below in 7.0.
Yep, I'm aware. Don't worry about that, ForeFlight. We got this. Alright, we can now reduce to about a 1... we'll reduce to about a 140. We'll set this to 140 for the missed approach. I'm going to take auto throttle off and reduce throttle myself a little bit here. Is this following nav mode? Okay, there it goes. What the heck? So sometimes you gotta watch what the plane's doing and make sure it's actually doing what you expect it to do. In fact, you should always be doing that. Otherwise, it'll do random stuff like that. Alright, great. Next notch of flaps in, please. Again, we're still trying to make that 22. Engine NP. Why did it give me that for a second? I don't know. All the engine instruments look good. Temperature looks good. No icing or anything. Yeah, we're fine. Just monitor it. Good news is, if we have an engine failure, this isn't the worst place to have one. It looks like we've got 2 airports right next to us, so... Yeah, you've got Providence right off your right. Or off your left, I should say. Yeah, I like how you can see it's tracking the ILS anyways, but let's pretend it doesn't exist. We'll give ourselves a challenge, right? Alright, we just passed Salmi. I'll go ahead and reset you down to 2. And as long as we level off at 2 before Phaleg, that's what matters here. Go and take maybe... Actually, you know what? I'm okay with 120 for now. We just need to be going a lot slower once we pass Phaleg, because for Phaleg we want to be 90 on the ground speed and hold that all the way in. That way we know we're tracking proper descent, if you will. That way we know that our timing is correct for when we need to go missed, if we don't have the runway in sight. Looks like we're about to pop through this one layer here. Hopefully things look clearer below. Let's hope. It said scattered too, but it also said like 2,000 foot ceilings when I was at Mount Pocono, and I got down to 300 AGL, and I still couldn't see anything, so we'll see. Lights are on. Taxi light, yeah, we'll keep that off for now. Gears down, 3 green. I'll go ahead and set flaps full once we're over Phaleg. Looks like we're just about to pop into the soup here, so it looks like Phaleg will be 7.4 out, and we're at a 10.5 out, so 3 more miles till Phaleg. Alright, about to level off at 2, and I can see the ground, so that's a good sign. Let's see, and yes, I know the seeing the ground doesn't count for when you can descend below, but yeah, it's a good sign is what I mean for us being able to see the runway environment. Almost at 2 there. I'm going to get ready here in a second to, yep, plane's going to level off, it'll bleed some speed off. We can go flaps 40. And any second now, it'll pass Phaleg. We need to reduce the speed now so we can start that timer, which I will go ahead and do on my iPad. There's Phaleg, timer's being started. I'm going to disengage the autopilot. And go ahead and reduce a little bit more. We're looking for 90, remember. Start bringing it down to that 840. Come on. Out you go. Out you go. Bring it down to 840. That's 1,000 to go right there. I need to bleed off some more speed here. I'm going to overshoot my 4-minute mark. Come on. Come on. 1,600. Yeah, I know I'm descending below the glide. I'm one, imagining I don't have that, and 2, I want to try to get low anyways. Yep, ground speed's just above 90, so that's good. My current time is 45 seconds. If that hits 404, that's when we have to go around, but it looks like we are out of the soup, and we've got runway in sight. That's 1,200. Yeah, we've got runway in sight. Cool, I'm going to give it a little bit more power now. And in fact, actually, let's go ahead and just keep this altitude here, since we're pretty safely below the cloud deck at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my timer. We're safely below the clouds. I see no obstructions between us and the runway. Gear verified is down in 3 green. Flaps are set 40. Autopilot, we'll go ahead and reset you to 3 just in case we do have to go missed. And heading set. Gear, flaps, land lights are all on. Autopilot is set. Yeah, we can hold the MDA for now until we get a little bit closer. VREF is 79 today. So we'll slow down to that once we've actually reestablished ourselves here. was it 840? I'm actually below the MDA. We should give ourselves a little bit more power here. There you go. Not that it matters. We've got the runway environment in sight, but still, we want to be able to. And actually, that looks like the glide. I'm looking at the PAPIs, not my instruments here. So we'll go ahead and bring power back down, slower back down. Gear set, gear down 3 grain, flap set, autopilot set, ready to go in case of a go around. Start slowing it down to a VREF, and for that I'll just pitch myself up a little bit. So far, a good semi-stable approach here. And we're cleared land 16. Again, I'm not using the ATC in this game. For this airplane, I've noticed I kind of have to bring the power out pretty early. It's like landing a Cessna. For those who don't know, when you land a Cessna, you kind of have to just chop the power, at least for the 152 that I fly and the 172. You kind of have to chop the power over the numbers, and it'll just glide right in. A little bit more power will be good. Little bit. Get back up there. There you go. Good airplane. Nice general corrections. Definitely a bit of a right-hand crosswind. We'll correct for that here in a second. Getting myself a little bit fast here. I'll just pitch up, bleed this off. Okay, definitely need to hold some crosswind correction in here. Sorry, passengers. Alright, here we go. About to cross the numbers, so we'll get ready to close that throttle completely. There you go, throttle's all the way idle now. We'll glider right in. Hold this off. There you go. Beautiful. That's the nose wheel on the ground. We'll go activate reverse. Add a little bit of reverse, but we don't really need much. And actually, I'm going to let it roll to the next taxiway because I remember seeing we have to park a little further down. There we go. Cool. Welcome to Quonset, everybody. Flip the inertial separator on. Flaps are being retracted, even though I'm not off the runway. Yes, I know I won't do that on an actual flight. Taxilight's coming off. The rest will be off once we get off the runway here. And I'll go throw the reverse back on to slow down for this next one. Alright, let's go ahead and just exit right here. Apply some brakes. And we'll bring it to a stop so I can get myself situated. I believe I'm going to park it right over here. Oh, okay, or the game can lag out on me. You know, I just got this computer and I'm already getting lag spikes. That's a little worrying. Alright, we'll bring it to a stop here. Alright, after landing checklist. I almost forgot I have a paper one here. Taxi lights on, landing lights are all coming off. Strobe, wings off. And I can even just set you back to recon. The anti-ice is set. Probe heats can come off. Window heats can come off. Inertial separator is already open. Flaps are up. Condition lever NA. And the weather radar will go ahead and turn off so we don't give anyone cancer. I don't think that's how that works. I'm pretty sure we're just being live fed data, but still. And the transponder is set ALT. It doesn't matter. We'll just leave it on ALT. Checklist complete. We'll go ahead and park this guy. I believe just right. Oh, directly in front of us. It says is the FBO. So yeah, we can just turn it around, give our passengers a way to walk off the plane, and that'll be it. Alright, just going to go ahead and park it over here. Taxi light can go ahead and come off. And okay, maybe slow down a little bit before I decapitate the lineman. Alright, stop it right here. Parking brakes coming on. And the shutdown checklist will be park brake set, anti-ice is all off, inertial separator I'm going to turn off as well. Power levers idle, condition lever is going to be cut off. That doesn't exist for us, but we're just going to go ahead and kill the engine this way. Fuel pumps verified are off, and the pressurization verified, yeah, we're close enough. The shutdown items continuing here. EPS needs to come off before I trigger anything. Avionics buses can all come off. Standby can come off. Generators can come off. And passenger signs are all coming off too. Beacon lights coming off. And batteries 1 and 2 are both going to come off. And that'll conclude this flight today. Everybody, welcome to Quonset, Rhode Island, or wherever the hell this town is. I think it was called like Kingston. Quonset State, North Kingston, Rhode Island, whatever the hell you want to call this place. It's actually pretty scenic. I've been around here in real life. So, with that out of the way, welcome to Rhode Island. I do hope you enjoyed the video. As a quick note for those that, like, I think maybe very few of you guys who watched these videos in the past, just to let you know, the reason why I kind of disappeared there was just because I got very busy with a check ride. The check ride was done successfully, so awesome, and then I got busy with life and was also just very tired, and then I went on vacation, and then I got very sick, and I'm still kind of recovering from that, but I'm here now, and decided, screw it, let's make a video. I actually, funny enough, looked back at that channel out of boredom like last week, and kind of realized, you know, people actually kind of enjoyed that. That's very odd, and I figured, hey, if somebody enjoys watching these videos, and I enjoy making them, yeah, I'll let you guys watch. So there you go, that's the flight complete. The only debriefing item I have is just the, probably should double check that ILS was out of service before I set up that approach, but oh well, that's fine. Just something to remember. Otherwise, good little flight. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I'll do a couple more flights in this PC-12 for sure. I like this little guy. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. Let me know your feedback in the comments. All feedback is appreciated, of course. And you guys all have a very good day. Have a good one, everybody.